Yellowstone returned for this present week with the penultimate episode of Season 5, Episode 13. This episode, named Part with the World, was appropriate to what we saw as the Duttons offered ponies and dairy cattle to collect the cash for the charges they owed. The last snapshots of the episode uncovered that Kayce was concocting an arrangement to save the farm. In the most natural-sounding way for him, he wanted to do this by parting with it, something that could satisfy the prescience and commitment made by James Dutton in 1883, almost quite a while back. Thus, with that, how about we jump into the episode and separate everything to detract from it? Toward the finish of the episode, we saw that Kayce was formulating an arrangement to save the farm. He utilized an illustration of Beth's vehicle and the duties that would be paid on it, assuming he got it from her for just $1, despite the fact that it was really worth $300,000. Charges depend on what you pay for the item, not its real worth. It appears to be that this is the manner by which they intend to get around the charges and obligation owed on the farm. Kayce is hoping to sell the farm at a lower value than its fairly estimated worth to keep away from the monetary weight. He intends to do this for a couple of reasons. It would permit the farm to remain in one piece, with reserves accessible to modify it, similarly as tier needs. They raised $30 million from the offer of the ponies and steers, and this would cover the obligations, making them vanish. We don't yet have the foggiest idea who Kayce has as a main priority to purchase the farm. However, I suspect it very well may be Thomas Water, and Mo Kayce is near them, and they've for a long time needed to procure part of that land. This could be the ideal chance to do as such at a low cost. This would likewise attach back to the arrangement made by James Dutton in 1883 with the local American who permitted James to choose the land after Elsa's passing. The local American guaranteed that one day, his kin would recover the land, and James Dutton consented to give it to them when the opportunity arrived. Since the land is presently being offered because of monetary battles, it would check out for it to go to Thomas Water. On the off chance that this occurs, it would be a shrewd way to both purpose what is going on and honor the history of the Duttons obtaining the land. Toward the start of the episode, Kayce referenced needing to move as distant from the spot as could really be expected, recommending that he was finished with everything. The land had filled its need for the Dutton family. That is my expectation for Kayce's arrangement and the destiny of the land. Jamie was disintegrating in this episode. The police found that he had a close connection with Sarah, and she was being researched for the homicide of John Dutton, which could at last connection Jamie to the wrongdoing. Market value was in any event, attempting to limit any association with Jamie and Sarah, dreading they may be associated with John's demise. Jamie conveyed an intimidation to Beth, saying he would obliterate the family name and inheritance in the event that she came after him with the data. He had some awareness of the family's past. Jamie was really lost, not knowing what to do, so he went to the mother of his child, Christina. She was ready to help him and offered him exhortation on the best way to deal with the circumstance, as he was the dad of their youngster. She didn't maintain that his inheritance should be spoiled. Christina recommended that Jamie incline toward the way that Sarah admitted to requesting the hit on John. While there was no proof associating him to the homicide, he could deny the reputed issue and require an examination concerning both Sarah's and John Dutton's demises. She likewise encouraged him to laud John's convictions and proclaim that his homicide was the killing of an individual, yet the homicide of Montana's residents on the whole correct to pick their chosen authorities. This is a course I can see Jamie taking. Assuming that there's no strong proof against him, in spite of his complicity, he may very well pull off it and even addition the help of individuals of Montana. Beth went on a journey in this episode, needing to ensure Travis sold the ponies capably and wasn't tricking them out of cash. In the wake of getting back from Texas, she directed the sale that overwhelmed the episode. By and by, the Duttons had raised $30 million, which actually wasn't sufficient to take care of the multitude of obligations they were soon to owe. It just got them sufficient opportunity to move things along for about a year. We additionally saw that John Dutton's body was fit to be delivered, and his memorial service is set to happen in the following episode. She needed a tranquil undertaking, just for individuals John thought often about his loved ones. I feel the following episode will be extraordinarily close to home, as is commonly said farewell to their dad and to the farm. We'll likewise be expressing farewell to the show, and I figure Beth will probably be offended by the methodology Jamie takes, which could make a significant fracture and lead a last confrontation, similarly as we've expected. I thought this was an excellent episode of the show. There was no passing in it, which is somewhat of an unexpected treat for this season, where passings appear to be consistent. The episode felt like one of the more established ones, with a lot of storylines to dive into. The acting was the absolute best we've seen this season, and it wasn't simply show-filled. There were significant discussions, and we saw characters stressing over their fates, which caused us to feel for them. The scenes with Taylor Sheridan as Travis caused me giggle. For what reason do I to feel appreciate that is the sort of daily routine he could really experience? Watching him grandstand his ponies was cool, and we haven't seen something to that effect in some time. I found the second with Tito grieving Colby truly miserable. You could perceive she was harming, and others around her were also. Her acting in that scene was remarkable. The scene where Beth and Tyr were in the bar was comical, however it wasn't really required. It was ideal to see Beth's mindful side and get a snapshot of chuckling. Last week, I was unable to see a reasonable course for how the show could end, yet after Kayce's disclosure and the arrangement he concocted, I can now see a fitting end to the show. Tyr can keep on being the cattle rustler he needs to be, and the land can move back to its legitimate owners, as it did a while back. Has this season been awesome? No, it most certainly remained imperfect. In any case, with John Dutton's burial service 1 week from now and the conclusion of a significant time period for Yellowstone, I figure the show will make a dramatic exit. I'm anticipating the close-to-home ride ahead. In any event, seeing the ponies and dairy cattle being sold, and Beth strolling through the unfilled pens, denoted the conclusion of a significant time period. I'm eager to perceive how the show closes. That's it. Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, Finishing made sense of. If you have any desire to see more recordings on Yellowstone, click on the card in the top corner. I'm separating each episode, so there's a playlist there. On the other hand, you can go to my channel, where you'll think that they are all. What was your take of this episode? Tell me your contemplations in the remarks. As usual, gratitude for tuning into the video, and I'll see you in the following one.